When I first got into night vision, most helmet guides I watched seemed to be kind of out of touch with what I think most people want from a helmet. If you want to comfortably mount night vision to your head, you could spend way less than $500 on a bare minimum setup, and I guarantee you that you don't need to spend $3,000 on an OpsCore Comtac Wilcox combo just to go on night hikes. The goal of this video is to teach people how to configure a helmet to maximize value. Everything needed for an enjoyable experience and nothing else. We will go over different parts for different budgets in a way that lets you decide and configure a solid helmet that works for you. If you're just interested in my recommended complete setups, use the timestamps to skip forward, as the first half of this video serves primarily to discuss building philosophy and parts. If you want to understand how to build and upgrade your helmet, stick around for the full thing. Quick disclaimer, if I don't clarify that a part was sent to me for free, I've personally paid for it. Let's start with building philosophy and basics. To comfortably mount night vision, at bare minimum, you need three things: a helmet, a mount, and a counterweight. Once these three things have been fulfilled, and you want to start buying new parts, you should ask yourself these questions in this order. First, is my equipment reliable? Do I trust it? If the answer to this is no, it's time to upgrade the part that's lagging behind. If the answer is yes, move to the second question. Is this set of equipment comfortable and intuitive? Is it easy to use? If no, look into fixing that. If yes to both of these questions, the third and final question is, what other capabilities do you want to have with night vision? With this whole plan in mind, let's break down each section of it, starting with the helmet itself. For those unaware, there are two different types of helmets, bump and ballistic. Bump helmets offer no ballistic protection. They are used simply to mount tactical equipment to your head and protect it from bumps. Ballistic helmets offer a level of ballistic protection. They cost more and weigh more as well. While US-made helmets are fantastic and battle-tested, they are notoriously expensive. If you are on a tight budget, don't require US mil standards, and are not expecting to get in a gunfight, I recommend foreign-made helmets. I have three helmets for this video. The first is a $35 Logu bump helmet from Amazon. This is a clone of the OpsCore Fast Bump with the old-style shroud and bungee system. This, in my opinion, is the bare minimum. I've used this helmet for over a year while I was running my PVS-69 and analog Gen 2 Plus tube. It technically has everything you need. The shroud is entirely made from plastic, but has reliably hosted mounts for years now. There are arc rails on the sides of the helmet for mounting ear pro and other accessories. While it checks all the boxes, the padding inside is definitely not super comfortable, and the whole thing feels super cheap. Wearing this for extended periods of time is not particularly enjoyable. The second is the OwlTac Lightweight Tactical Fast Helmet. These go for around $55 on Amazon. This is a clone of the OpsCore Fast Bump with the new shroud style. It features a metal shroud, arc rails, and a surprisingly comfortable lining, like substantially more comfortable than the Logu bump. I've been running this a lot recently and honestly like it. The padding feels really nice on my head and the metal shroud is really nice to have. I don't worry about my nods flying off my head. The last helmet is the HC from Demos Domain, which is a US based company. Quick disclaimer, Demos sent out two of these to me for free. I was not paid by them, nor am I required to say anything good about them. They were looking for feedback on these helmets and knew I was working on a helmet video and wanted to help out. These are clones of the OpsCore Ballistic helmets. They come with Team Wendy BOA style lining and padding, making them pretty comfortable, especially considering the weight. This helmet weighs quite a bit more than the bumps. I ran this helmet with binos for a bit with very little discomfort, if any at all. The padding and suspension is super comfortable and really helps reduce the felt weight. As I got sent two of these, I was able to ballistic test one of them.
So we got the SHC helmet out here from Demos, so we're doing like ballistic testing on it. I don't have YouTube money, so I don't have like one of the fancy heads. So we got a little watermelon guy right now, and hopefully he survives. So first thing we're gonna do is do like a Spalding test, and we're just gonna shoot this steel plate with like AK, just see how like it handles metal fragmentation, and then we'll go up from there. I mean, it looks like he tanked it. Nothing really too bad.
Any marks?
Yeah, there's definitely marks kind of up here. I'm actually gonna do 5.56 real quick just to test it. I mean, we got like nothing, some more dents back here, but I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised, but it looks like Spalding does fine. 22 time. Okay, so I hit a lot high with the 22. Watermelon Man is fine. There's a little bit of deformation right there, but I think we're gonna send another just to kind of get about like a more heads-on collision.
Kind of skipped there.
I know. I say we try to like send it right there.
Yeah. go.
Impact right here, second one through. So definitely more deformation, but if you had pads, I think you'd probably just have a really bad headache. So we got some birdshot Prairie Storm 20 gauge out of this gun. I don't know what this is. Forgot how awful it is to shoot 20 gauges. Okay, it tanked that 20 gauge. Very little deformation at all. Yeah, it's like 115 grain, normal 9 mil. We got supersonic, which I feel like I scuffed that out. I'll check that out then. Oh yeah, I set that like right through the corner, right up here. Oh, stopped it. I mean, it really wasn't. Oh no, that was a pretty solid impact.
Pretty squishy.
Pretty squishy. He's
The padding?
padding. I mean, I think you probably have something. I'm not a doctor. You probably have something kind of messed up in your brain, but you'd be alive. This is a 158 subsonic 9 mil. We're kind of doing it to replicate a long range impact. Check them out. Jeez. No, that tanked it, dude.
Oh, only a little bit of whiplash.
Yeah, I mean, we had him. He was wearing his helmet backwards because there's not much going on in this guy's noggin.
Minor cut, but
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if the helmet being like able to roll off maybe helped him. But isn't that what like guys did in World War II? They went on like chin straps.
So that was like a, I want to say myth, not what is
not
it?
real.
Superstition.
Superstition. That's it. Okay.
So they were superstitious about it, like breaking necks, but
Not really.
I mean, not really proven.
Oh.
That is pretty.
I think with solid proper pads though, you'd probably have a fractured skull, but you wouldn't be dead.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Normal M193, 55, 25, 56, so just like the most common round in America. I'm gonna send one a little bit lower. Oh yeah, he did. I think. Oh, it's okay. Well, I think we got really what we need to get. Let's check.
Yeah.
Okay, so did I miss the second one and just blow him up inside the helmet?
Nope, you hit two right there. One
did?
right there and one right there.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, that was an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just went right through.
It is important to remember that a lot of clone helmets don't always have the best tolerances in QC. My friend has one of those Logu style helmets, and we can't get most NV mounts to work with it as the shroud is out of spec. The AOTAC helmet arc rails are a little too big to tightly fit ear pro mounts. I had to shim my amp arms with tape for them to work to my liking. The HC arc rails were too tight to even take any accessories. I had to use a Dremel to get my stuff to work. I reached out to Demos about it, and they stated that the purchasable version of these helmets will have arc rails made to spec and hand tested before they ship to the customer. Demos assembles their helmets in the Midwest using the Chinese-made components and shells. As each helmet is built to order, you can slightly customize things like shroud type and suspension. After this, Demos does QC checks on the shrouds and rails. I'm sure the Amazon bums have a level of quality control per batch, but it's clearly not the best. It's easy to fix most, if not all of these issues with a bit of tape to shim or sandpaper to fit. While the Ballistic helmet fared decently well in testing, please note that it is not possible for Demos to do QC checks on the ballistic integrity of every HC. If ballistic protection is a nice thing that you would like to have, these helmets are a fantastic budget option, especially with the suspension in mind. If you need ballistic protection for your safety and live in a part of the world that is not a stranger to violence, please buy a ballistic helmet that has MilGov certification and a good track record. With helmets out of the way, let's talk mounts. The mount connects your night vision device to your helmet. At the bare minimum level, you can pick up a surplus Rhino 1 mount for about $35 on eBay. These are made of metal and use the outdated but functional bayonet system. Bayonet mounts work natively with the PVS-7B and D and old surplus PVS-14J arms. They can adjust the NVD forward and backwards, the angle of the device, and flip up out of the way when needed. They have no up or down adjustments. These aren't fancy, but they get the job done. A very popular budget option right now is the Sotac or Chinese G24. This is a clone of the $500 G24 mount that is the current industry standard. These go for around $70 on Amazon. They are CNC'd out of aluminum and use the popular dovetail mounting system. These have all of the same adjustment options as the Rhino, plus an up or down option. I've been using mine for around 8 to 8 months or so with pretty decent results. Fitment between dovetail and its receiver is quite nice with little wobble if any at all. It is not perfect though. I've had a few screws fall out on it around a year back and it wobbled badly. I took the whole thing apart and tightened everything down and I haven't had an issue yet. For some reason, most of these don't seem to come lubricated from the factory. They don't flip up smoothly and slowly destroy themselves with intense wear. I found that a bit of synthetic grease helps it work nice and smoothly. As long as you are willing to take one of these apart, re-lube it and tighten it down, these are decent mounts for the money. My personal favorite budget mount, and the one I've been running for the past 8 months, is the Sotax Cadex clone. It goes for around $110 on Amazon. This has all of the adjustments the G24 does, plus adjustable fitment on the dovetail receiver. This allows for a zero wobble fit with any dovetail. The tolerances on this are way better than the G24 clone, and in my experience, even some real G24s. There is barely any wobble anywhere. The mount felt super solid out of the box and super smooth. Once again, nothing is perfect. This weighs 207 grams compared to the G24 clone at 164, and has some slight fitment issues with most shrouds I've used. Using heat shrink as shims solves this problem real quick and prevents any jiggle. Once I got this shimmed up on my helmet, it quickly became my favorite mount. If you're not a fan of the G24, I would highly recommend giving a Cadex clone a try. While I don't have one of these on hand, the Argus LWNVM is another extremely popular budget mount. These are lightweight clones of the G24 and are made with NV users in mind. These are extremely tested and proven, so if you're looking for a mount that has a good reliable history at an affordable cost of around $150, this is a solid option, all things considered. If you want to run a PVS-14, you will need a J-arm as well. A J-arm connects the PVS-14 to a bayonet or dovetail mount. Surplus bayonet J-arms are about $20 and are known to be kind of flimsy and limiting, but they work. In my opinion, and for the sake of potentially upgrading down the line, I think dovetail is the way to go for J-arms. This is the M-arm by Hero Tactical. These are made in America and have more features than the popular AX-14 at only $60. I did get this and some other products made by Hero Tac for free for this video. I was not paid by them and I'm not required to say anything good about them. In all honesty, I love this arm. The fitment between the dovetail and my mounts is perfect. Being able to articulate the goggle up out of the way or between eyes is super nice, and the massive thumb screw allows for toolless removal of a PVS-14. At $60, this is a major recommendation from me. Hero Tac does make a U or upside down variant that repositions the battery pack from beneath your eye to above, giving a less cluttered below tube picture. The concept is cool and nice, but it repositions all the controls, which really messes with my muscle memory. My go-to is the standard M-arm. Most Chinese J-arms on Amazon are around $40 to $60, so in my opinion, just go for the M-arm and call it a day. If there are any cheaper alternatives you like, please leave them in the comments. If you are a digital user and are thinking, hey, I already have a proprietary mount, do I need a new one? Look back at the hierarchy of needs. Is the mount reliable? Is the mount comfortable? If yes to both, money is best spent elsewhere. If one is no, look into a dovetail upgrade. The last necessity needed for a setup is a counterweight. These balance out the weight of a night vision device. These really don't have to be expensive or complicated. There are many ways to do this, so I'm just going to explain what I've done in the past and what I've liked. I started off with a Krydex pouch I got off Amazon for $17 and just shoved small metal weights into it until it felt comfortable. It worked well for a while for what it was. Eventually, a dedicated battery pack for the PVS-69 came out, so I printed that and bought another Krydex pouch that fit it nicely. While I moved on to analog devices soon after that, I continued to run it as it provided a comfortable amount of weight and the Mohawk helped manage cables. Recently, Hero Tac sent me 2 of their battery counterweights out and they're quite sleek. They are Velcro backed and hold 4 AA8s and 2 18650s. I've been running this with my PVS-14 and I've been loving it. It's simple, rugged, and low profile. They make a version for CR123As as well. In my experience, these don't provide enough weight to work comfortably with a bino setup, but for monoculars, these are a great option, especially at $25. As long as it holds to your helmet and is comfortable, you should be good to go. When these 3 basic needs have been covered to a level that you are happy with, it is time to add more. At this point, think back to that third question. What other capabilities do you want to have? Basically, what else do you want to do with night vision? The answer most people tell me is to shoot or to play airsoft. If that's you, in my opinion, the next best thing to add is hearing protection or communication. Now remember, if you want to shoot with your helmet setup but don't have the basics squared away, in my opinion, just use orange earplugs and spend the money making sure your setup is comfortable and reliable. While you can wear a headset under a helmet, it's not incredibly comfortable. Helmet-mounted ear pro is the way to go. Reputable ear pro that comes helmet mountable out of the box is not cheap. If you are shooting a lot, especially unsuppressed, I would not recommend an airsoft headset as they are unproven and generally don't have the best NRR. My goal was to make a pseudo Comtac we have at home. I wanted gel cups, easy helmet mounting, proper and reliable noise reduction with a good track record, and an option for a radio plug. After doing some research, I found that there are a lot of aftermarket helmet mounts for most popular shooting headphones, such as Walkers and Impact Sports. I've been using Walkers for a long time and I wanted to try something new, so I went and bought a pair of Impact Sports. The aftermarket for the Impact Sport is surprisingly large. I bought an amp-style helmet mount, gel cups, and a radio plug module. 10 minutes and a pocket knife later, I had a surprisingly fantastic budget setup that wouldn't make me go deaf. The gel cups and mount are extremely comfortable. The audio recreation and microphones on this headset are a bit better than the Walkers. In my opinion, this is the way to go if you want to add earpro to your helmet while on a budget. While the headset itself is very proven, the microphone and radio plug module is not. As I view radio capability as more of a nice thing to have rather than a necessity, I'm okay with it. If your life depends on radio communication, I would look into spending some extra cash to buy something that is proven, like surplus Comtacs. If you don't plan on shooting and just want a headset for airsoft, I would do some research and find a good Comtac or Sorting clone. Those should be good to go out of the box with everything we discussed included. If you aren't a shooter, but more of a hiker and explorer, an IR beacon indicator or a light might be a better purchase. Unity Tactical Sparks are about $20, and you can get a decent Hellstar clone on Amazon for about $30 or so. I really like the Hellstar clones as they do both visible and IR, and have a replaceable battery unlike the Spark. I use the visible mode anytime I'm close to a road at night to make sure I don't get hit, and I use the IR mode to designate with my friends that have night vision and flood illuminate dark rooms. If you're running digital or doing a lot of indoor stuff, a helmet-mounted IR flood is a great investment as well. If you're looking for some extra security, NV Retention is a nice add-on. You can get retention bands for about $20 on Amazon to secure your night vision to your helmet in case your mount fails. The last thing kind of worth mentioning is covers and scrims. If you got everything squared away and want to add some personality to your setup, a camo cover or scrim is a great way to do it. I've been running a DNC one from Demos for the last few months and love it. I just think it looks rad. HeroTac sells some for only $18. While they aren't as high quality as the Demos ones, they still rock all things considered. I have his Multicam Tropic scrim on my HC and I really like the mix of greens. As for parts, that's pretty much it. Please leave any questions you have in the comments as I read all of the comments and I respond to most. If you have a setup you really like, please share it there as well. As I previously said, let's go over my personal setups, recommendations, and some final thoughts.
Okay, you guys, I put up a poll if you guys wanted to rant or something like that, kind of talk about like the setups that I would recommend with like the combination of parts, then you know, kind of just thoughts and opinions I have, and you guys said yes by like a pretty big majority, so here we are. We're outside just because I want to be outside, but there are loud bugs, so I'm sorry, but I'm not going to change it because I don't know, I want to be outside. So first preset I guess we'll talk about is the bare minimum. We kind of already talked about this in the video. I wouldn't even like fully recommend this. It's just something that you can do, because I feel like a lot of times I hate when people are like you low-key could go even less than this. You can go Timo bump or like bike helmet and just like drill holes into it, and that could work too. Just like, I don't know, this is like probably the cheapest that you should go, bare minimum. So I should have brought the MVG 30 mount out too, because that'll work. I've used this for a really long time. I've used this for airsoft games and stuff. Padding's not super comfortable, but you get used to it. It's not horrible. It feels cheap, looks cheap, but it works. Like, it's a helmet. I really don't know what to say besides that. I really put this together out of spare parts from old builds. For our first actual one, ignore the giant gear bin. This is like a pre-set up setup, quote unquote, that I would like really recommend. If you guys are like, well, I watched your video, I don't really know what to do, tell me what to do, and you want to kind of like maximize dollars to comfortable and like capability, this is my recommended one. So this is the the AOTAC bump with those nice pads on the inside. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the nice pads on the inside. So we use that as the base. For the mount is the G24 that I talked about. Sorry, the like SOTAC one. If you don't clean these things or oil them up, they are going to suck, just like really bad. So yeah, but once you get them oiled up, you really tighten everything down. They are very, very, very smooth. work well. There's a bit of wobble, see a bit of play, but they work. They get the job done. And fitment with J-arms is this is the U-arm. Very nice. Clicks in nice, positive. Yeah. So that for the mount. Honestly, for the battery pack, you could go with the Krydex rear end. I don't think that's a bad idea if you want to keep things from Amazon. I did personally. I really do like the AA thing in the back, Velcro. It's nice and easy. You use it for cable management, sleek. I like that. Keeps I like that. That's what I recommend. It's cheap, it's cool, it's nifty. But the the Krydex ones, not a big, that's another good choice. The $30 Hellstar clones on Amazon, these are just cool and they're fun to use for hiking. I recommend that. Those are cool. And then I have the full converted Impact Sports, and like I will talk about more of these later. I love the converted Impact Sports so much. But yeah, like I'll leave a parts list for this recommended setup. This works so well. I've been loving using this helmet. Super comfortable. Does pretty much everything you need it to do. This rocks. So I'd recommend this through and through. And dollar to dollar, it's pretty dang good. The last one we have our Ballistic. This is the HC. The SHC you see on this thing. So HC stands for high cut. SHD stands for super high cut. I would recommend the super high cut just because it gives you more room to get your ear pros on. Just for the way my head's built, I really like super high cut, but the high cut still works as well. High cut, we have my favorite mount, the Cadex, on here. It's a nice mount. If you are running comms, I definitely recommend going with one of the like Mohawk style connectors. Let me see a scrim. Because this just helps you kind of run your battery pack cables and your comm cables all together. And then you have a lot more room. I have like my down lead kind of wired up in there. That's my recommendation. So I have one of those in there. Then we're rocking these are clone amp arms. I mean, like clone amps in general. I got these for review a while back. Made a review on them. They are all right. They're more of a placeholder for what I would say would be converted Swordens or Comtacs. With the idea of this being like your duty ready setup, you know. While I've already had that whole conversation about if you like legitimately need ballistic, you're like, oh, like my neighbor just got shot up the other day or something like that. I don't know. We're just saying something really bad's happening in your area and you legitimately need ballistic. Please just buy a real ballistic helmet. But if you're like, oh, that's a cool feature, nice to have, these are great. But if you really want those, like I've got my Swordens. I got these used for $175. I love my Swordens so much. These aren't the comms capable one, but you can get comms capable add-ons pretty easily. And then I think like used Comtacs are generally like around $200, $300. So they're more expensive, but they are super duper high quality and super nice and reliable units with reliable devices with great track record. The only reason I didn't helmet mount these is because I shoot more in the day by a pretty large margin. So it didn't really make sense for me to mount my nicest pair of ear pro on my helmet. So I kept these unmounted. But if you do a lot of shooting with your helmet, then mount some Swordens, mount some Comtacs. Yeah. And don't be afraid to buy used. Swordens and Comtacs are so expensive new. You can get really good discounts on them with them being slightly used. Like this pair is a $300 pair of ear pro. I got it for $175 used. Pretty good deal. So, yeah, I also have the same light. This is the same Hellstar clone, just in red. And that's about it. Link to this as well in there. I'll include the ear pro just because, like, if we want to keep it. If someone for some reason wants to clone my exact build for, like, LARP, I guess, they can, but I would recommend a different ear pro. Or like, honestly, what would also be really nice is just run the Impact Sports on these at bare minimum, because these clone amps cost more than the converted Impact Sports and are not nearly as good. So that's kind of it for the preset helmets.
yeah, if you guys have any questions on those, please ask. I answer every single one in the comment section, or at least I read every single question for sure, and I answer, I would say, most of them. So if you have any questions about them, please ask. And yeah. Okay, so some thoughts, considerations, and another thing. I've kind of had this thought recently talking about reviewers, and they always seem to not, like, they'll make a review, be like, oh, this piece of gear's equipment's great, I really like this. And then that'll kind of be it. And they never talk about, did they personally adopt that afterwards, you know? And I think that's something that should be talked about more, because I don't know, it's interesting. I think a lot of reviewers do a good job being like, hey, well, I'm not personally changing this, but if this is your use case, this is about the best you can do there. So I kind of feel like I try to present that to you, but I'm going to now talk about what my personal like helmet setup will be after this, just to be, I feel like, as transparent as possible. I will be going back to the OpsCore carbon. While I will say, to be honest, the padding in the Ballistic and kind of the padding in this helmet might be a little bit better. In the summer, the memory foam padding on this is just unbeatable. It's just so comfortable, and it just has great temperature regulation. And it's extremely light. It's a very comfortable helmet. That for the helmet, I'll be going for that. I will be using the Sotax Cadex clone. This is, like, no joke, my favorite mount. And to be honest, I would recommend on this preset, well, I do think at like the $60-ish this is, if your budget's like, oh, I got like $120 budgeted for extra parts, I think you should go into getting the Ear Pro before you upgrade the mount. But if you are looking for a next thing to upgrade, Cadex, or you have the extra money, Cadex, way to go. It's a way better mount. So I'll be going with the carbon, the real carbon. I'll be using the Sotax Cadex along with it. I'm not quite sure what counterweight I'll be running, to be honest. I should be having in duals pretty soon. And I think I'll probably be running a battery pack for the duals. So I'll probably still be using the Mohawk style, and then with the battery pack installed in the Mohawk. So I'll do that. And then Ear Pro, I will actually be putting on the Impact Sports onto this. I love the Impact Sports so much. I cannot recommend them enough. And then Scrim, I love my DNC Scrim, so I'll be running the DNC Scrim on there too. Yeah, and I'll be probably keeping, I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know. I have too many helmets now. I really do like this setup though. This is very fun to use. It's actually so comfortable. It's a very heavy helmet. It's immediately noticeable. Like when I hand people this, they're like, how do you wear that on your head? But it's incredibly comfortable still. I don't know why, but it's well balanced. The pads inside it are fantastic. The suspension's fantastic. And I've worn this for hours and no problem. No neck strain. So I will definitely be keeping this setup around. I think the Multicam Tropic on the green just looks so good. It's just a really good helmet setup, and it looks nice. And I'll probably be throwing the G24 on there instead, but we will see. I kind of feel like that's it. There's not much more to it than that. I think like the whole thing you should take away from this video is really configure a helmet setup to what you think is best for you. Remember, just keep that hierarchy of needs in there, and I think that is a really great guideline for how you should go and build your helmet. Remember, if you're military, law enforcement, I just make sure everything's squared away, and I'm sure you know that. But like if you're just trying to mount some nods under your head, this is a great way to do it. And if you want some of that extra ballistic protection, this is a great way to do it. And remember, FMA, there's so many different options. That's why I like that hierarchy of needs I proposed earlier, is that is really what you should do. You know, I've recommended these products. They work for me. They might not work for you, but I think that hierarchy of needs can work for pretty much everyone. I really think you should follow those things. So that's that. I think that's pretty much it. Cool stuff coming in the future. Budget land video is in the works. By in the works, I'm just sourcing everything right now. I have a lot of lasers coming, like a lot of lasers. Geez, like I don't even know. few grand worth of lasers, maybe 3 or 4 grand worth of lasers, which is like one mall, but in the budget world, that is like a lot of lasers. There's a really cool thing I'm really excited about. There is a 3D printable clip-on thermal imager. For those that don't know what that is, it is pretty much something you put on the end of your night vision device. I have my 14 right here. So you'd clip it on right here, and it actually adds a thermal outline to your night vision image. So there's a 3D printable version of those. It costs $400 to build, which the next cheapest Cody is like around $1,700 to $2,000 if you even can get it. So pretty crazy. So I have the parts kit. I'm building one right. I don't have a parts kit actually. I just ordered everything from AliExpress. I'm building one right now. So that's coming in the future. Those are pretty much the two big ones in the future. Maybe some Bino stuff we'll be talking about, but yeah, that's pretty much it right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. This has been really fun, so thank you guys.